angels waging war in the unseen realm. Global events fulfilling biblical prophecy. Eternal life. What lies beyond mortality? From analyzing the paranormal from a biblical worldview to the discussion of cutting-edge science and technology, conspiracy, discovery, special investigative reports. Unafraid to explore the challenging issues facing humanity. Welcome to another edition of Skywatch TV.
You'll never see the event that will change your life forever. You'll never see it coming. Welcome to Skywatch TV. I'm Derek Gilbert. That doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't mean it to be ominous, but the fact is that life throws curves at us, and the Lord sometimes allows those things to test us. It is National Preparedness Month, and so we are here to talk about the biblical basis and the reasons for wisely preparing for any contingency. Joining me in studio is a gentleman who knows a little bit about preparedness as the former COO of Survivor Mall, current COO of Skywatch TV, Joe Horn. Joe.
Hi, Derek. Thank you.
And a man who we've come to know and respect for his Christian approach to preparedness. He is the author of the book Survive the Coming Storm and the executive director of Prophezine, his website, raygano.com. We welcome to the program for the first time the aforementioned Mr. Gano. Ray, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Good to have you, Ray.
Thank you. So, in fact, we've met several times before, haven't we?
Yeah, the first time I think face to face was at the
Branson Conference.
Yes, that's right.
Future
Congress in Branson, not far from here.
Yeah.
I will admit, and I think we may have even talked about it then at the time. Growing up in a city, and I've talked about this not long ago, in fact, at Morningside Church, they had me speak at their Preparedness Expo.
Cool.
And I'm certainly not a preparedness expert, but I am kind of a history nerd, and I can look at history and talk about various things that have caught people unawares, and including people here in the United States. Some of the most prominent in recent years, of course, Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Go back a few years more, there was the eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Right.
We've got hurricanes on the Gulf Coast or the Atlantic coast of Florida on a regular basis, the East Coast of the United States, blizzards in the Midwest that can devastate livestock, herds of livestock, and leave people stranded for days, weeks on end.
Right.
And of course, lately we've been talking a lot about the possible the capability, perhaps, of North Korea to launch an electromagnetic pulse weapon that could instantly turn the United States back to about 1865 in terms of technology. But your approach to preparedness is one of being prepared as a Christian, not one who's going to hunker down inside a bunker and just let the rest of the world go to heck in a handbasket, but being prepared so that not only do we have enough to take care of our families, but take care of those around us. One of the things that faces America that I think is a pretty safe guess is the amount of debt that we carry here in the U.S. Not just the national debt, but we've got these other debt bubbles that have inflated. We saw the real estate bubble collapse in 2007, 2008, which led to the crisis of 2008, 2009. But now we've got a student loan bubble that's over $1 trillion. The auto loan bubble is beginning to deflate. We're seeing this year statistics from auto manufacturers, which is a main driver of the U.S. economy. Sales are down year over year. The delinquencies on auto loans are increasing, and I wasn't even aware they're making subprime auto loans and then packaging them as investments, just like they did with mortgages 10 years ago. It's like we don't learn. So something is going to happen at some point that is going to knock the United States and knock the world back on its heels. So what do you see coming, and how do we prepare in a general sense?
Well, first and foremost, we as Christians have a duty to prepare. 1 Peter 3:15 says, always be ready to share the hope that's within us in meekness and fear. And I always key in on the word always. Always means always. Always means good times, always means bad times. We as Christians have to share the hope. And if we're not prepared, then why aren't we? One of the things that the enemy does is he uses distractions to distract us. And So, oh, do I have enough food? Do I have enough water? Oh, little Becky is sick, or so forth and so on. But when we as Christians, when we've stocked up our pantries, when we've got extra water on hand, when we've stocked up our medicine cabinets and everything, these are now distractions that don't distract us anymore. We then have the freedom to then share the hope that's within us. And in bad times, when we, like for example, economic collapse, which is something that I've seen big time happening, and do I want to put all my eggs in the basket and put the bet on the table and say that's what's going to happen? No. There's a lot of black swan events out there that could knock this nation and our world for a loophole. And so we just need to be ready, be prepared. I mean, we're looking at possible pandemics. We're looking at we're a continuation of Fukushima. We're looking at the economy. We're looking at North Korea.
Right.
There's just so many things that. And then another thing too that so many people don't think about is the pink slip. Look at the economy. The pink slip is, how long now does it take an average person to get a equally paying job again?
Right.
It takes about a year. And so you're going to have whatever small amount of money. If you prepared food, that's one less heartache that you have, one less distraction that you have. And you then can go out and share the hope. Or you can go out and find that better job and everything and not look like skin and bones and not have that stress of the world on you because you don't have to buy groceries. I mean, that right there will take a lot of load off of people just not having to buy groceries or not having to buy medical supplies or anything. We've got these things covered. And I remember when Rita and Katrina took place. And we learned early on to prep. But when Rita and Katrina happened, we went down to Walmart. It's like, okay, let's just stock up on more preps just to make sure the shelves were empty. And we were living in the New Braunfels, Texas area. I mean, that's kind of in the middle of Texas heartland. Why is Katrina and Rita affecting us? And why is everybody buying food off the shelves?
So New Braunfels not like down there by
you're not.
Baytown.
Yeah, you're
it's
not.
Like Corpus Christi or Houston, where you're going to be hit
severely inland.
Yeah.
And yet people were freaking out over it and everything. But we had preps still. We had our foods and stuff.
Right.
And the nice thing is that okay, we were able to kind of like strengthen the pantry a little bit, but God help us if we would have not had something.
Right.
That stress, it's like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? How many people went through that? And especially the people in New Orleans and the surrounding areas.
Right.
I know of preppers that were in that area, and they sailed through it like nothing. And same thing with us. We sailed through it as well because we did have preps. I remember my wife and I were walking along the dirt road, and we were thinking, you know what? I'm so glad we got food. Yeah, Walmart didn't have anything, but you know what? We weren't worried. Where before, there's been times where that's what caused us to prep. But before, New Braunfels is known for floods, and where we lived, we would kind of get landlocked, and so there was times when we didn't have food, and that's what caused us to start prepping. And so me and my wife were walking, and it's just, wow, we don't have to worry about this. We got this covered. We have food insurance. We have water insurance. So the other thing that really caught us off guard was in New Braunfels had a pandemic. It was ground zero for Texas for the H1N1 swine flu that took place in, oh gosh, what was it? 2009. And a lot of the people don't know that. They locked New Braunfels down. Businesses were closed, stores were closed.
Wow.
There were armed police at the front of Walmart. There was only two places open, Walmart and their pharmacy and Walgreens and their pharmacy. And there were armed guards there. They were only letting so many people in.
Right.
They were telling people to get off the streets. I mean, we were in a full-blown hardcore pandemic. We were not prepared at that time for that. And so we learned a lot on what to stock up on, what to do, what to get, and then never let that happen to us again.
Now, Joe, Ray mentioned something about an event called a Black Swan, which is essentially an event that happens so rarely that people kind of forget that it's even a possibility.
Right.
The Fukushima event, which was March 11th of 2011, a magnitude 9 plus, I think 9.2 if I remember correctly, earthquake off the coast of Japan caused a tsunami that basically wrecked the Daiichi nuclear reactors. And they're finding even today in 2017 that the little robots that they're sending down into the damaged reactor number 2 are failing because the radiation in there is far more intense than they expected. They've just not been able to contain it. And there are questions as to how much of that is affecting us here. But back in 2011, when that news was all over the 24-hour news cycle, and you were running Survivor Mall, which dealt with preparedness supplies, what was the response when people suddenly woke up that morning and saw the reactor in Japan and the currents are going to carry the radiation here to North America? What happened?
It's exactly as Ray described, where there's a Walmart open and a Walgreens open and armed guards covering the doors. Limited number of customers allowed in, that kind of thing. Everything gets throttled to zero in a matter of hours. Now you got to realize this was in Japan. Imagine if something happened here in the U.S. What we found at Survivor Mall, Derek, it was the most stressful time that we ever experienced as a company. We had people that didn't know how that industry worked say things like, wow, what a great time to make a lot of money, right? Well, if we could have gotten product as a distributor, it would have been. But the problem was that news hit U.S. and within, I'm going to say 8 hours, let's be really generous, from the time that hit major news outlets, 8 hours later, we were out of absolutely everything except for a few thermal blankets. Our water purifiers gone. You could not get Berkey water filtration units. Potassium iodide, forget about it. We were getting our iodide from Shane Connor, who runs a company called KI4U. He builds fallout shelters under the ground for the government. And he was our line for potassium iodide. We called him, we could have bought, I won't disclose a dollar amount, but we could have bought basically all he had with the number of orders we were trying to get from our customers. And the government had requisitioned his supply, something like 6 pallets of his product.
Wow.
So they paid him fair market value, but then all of the little guys, like Survivor Mall, got nothing. So let me just collapse this, because I could go on and on and on. The point is, the people that waited until they saw the headlines, that then reacted and picked up the phone to call Survivor Mall to get them stuff. It was not a matter of how big was Joe's heart, how much did I want to get them product, how quick could we get it shipped, if they were to give us more money, what could we do for them? There was literally nothing we could do about it. And food, long-term storage food, we were 3 to 8 months with people willing to just sit in a queue waiting for food. And for those that went elsewhere online that would cancel orders, they'd come back saying, never mind, so-and-so, so-and-so's outlet, so-and-so's prep shop. They were out. So the point is, and Ray has written a book called Survive the Coming Storm that we're going to get to here in a sec. It is a genius written book. It covers how you can practically take steps. A lot of people, they have this belief that being prepared is a catastrophic expense. And so they put it off. And the other thing is no alarming headlines. Again, this was in Japan. And that was how quickly we were out of stuff for months. So for the people that didn't have anything, the point is, guys, if you wait until you see the headlines and you pick up the phone, it's too late. You're going to be one of tens of thousands in a queue waiting for, and I don't say that to speak fear, that's just the honest to God reality of it.
The time to prepare, like Joseph, was when they were having years of plenty.
And
no worries, and everybody was, you know, it was probably like the 90s here in the United States. You know, everybody was making money. They had their .com boom there in ancient Egypt, and everything was fine until the drought hit, and then it was too late. We're going to talk about some practical steps to prepare. Also, give you some talk about the book and some really good deals on some preparedness items straight ahead. When we come back, some basic common sense steps to begin preparation as we continue with our guest, Ray Gano, on Skywatch TV. Most American families are just 72 hours away from disaster. Here at Skywatch TV, we hope we can help avoid that.
I have been given permission to tell about this massive deal. There's one packet where you get one of each of these, breakfast and entree buckets, and again, 25 years shelf life. With that, you will get 15 of these Wise Fire packets. You'll get one of this water bottle. It will filter 99.9% of the impurities out of your water. Also, you will get for free this awesome auto kit.
Now, there's another package.
There are 2 more packages. The second package, you get 3 of each bucket. You pay for those, and you get the auto kit free, you get the Wise Fire free, and you get 2 of these bottles. There's a third deal. You won't believe this one. You get 6 of each of these. You get the auto kit free, you get the Wise Fire free, you get 2 bottles. Guess what else? You get the Mac Daddy
Ooh.
50-gallon water storage container. If the electric grid goes down, one of these is going to come very handy.
3 packages for preparedness, one that feeds a family of 6 for a month, one that feeds a family of 6 for 3 months, and one that feeds a family of 6 for half a year, and of course that includes the 50-gallon water tank. And with each package, we'll include free the Everyday Gourmet Cooking with Long-Term Food Storage, a $50 value. And with all of these September Preparedness Month specials, we'll include a copy of the excellent book by Christian preparedness expert Ray Gano, Survive the Coming Storm, The Value of a Preparedness Lifestyle. You'll find all of those deals online, the Wise Food Preparedness specials at skywatchtvstore.com. Welcome back to Skywatch TV. Please take us with you. Our mobile app is absolutely free, requires no water to dehydrate or anything like that. It's just ready to go right out of the box. It's a free download for your iOS, iPod Touch, iPad, iPhone, the Android tablets and phones, Kindle Fire tablets, even Windows phones. They're all available and they're all free. You'll find the link for the app stores at skywatchtv.com in the top menu bar where it says mobile app. Ray Gano is our guest. He's the author of Survive the Coming Storm, his website, raygano.com. Ray, as far as getting started, Joe raised a good point. A lot of people put things off as far as preparation because they think it's going to, I've got to get all of this stuff all at once and it's going to be a huge expense. What are the main things that we need to worry about first, and how do we begin to acquire these things in a way that doesn't break the bank?
First of all, what you want to do is you want to set a realistic dollar amount. My motto is realistic prepping for real people. So set a realistic dollar amount. For me and my family, we don't have a lot of money to just go out and buy it all. So I set $5 a week. And every time we would go into the store, we at least go buy $5 of something. Beans, Spam, rice, macaroni and cheese, and that would be our food start prep. Next thing, get a place to put it. We cleaned out our hall closet and just started slowly putting food in there. Now, some people, we amped it up and we started at $5 a week. Then we started to say, okay, you know what? We can hang with this. Let's start doing $5 every time we go to a store. And so we'd go to the store 2-3 times a week. And what you do is $5 every time you go to the store, more rice, more beans, more Spam, Dinny Moore beef stew,
Stuff with a long shelf life.
Stuff with a long shelf life. And put it in your closet. And that way, you don't want a closet that's in your kitchen or near your kitchen. You want a closet maybe in a spare bedroom or in the hall or something. And now you have to be diligent and you have to clean it out and you really have to make room. Because you'll be amazed, folks, if you just do this, how fast that closet will fill up. We had our closet filled in 90 days.
That's amazing.
Easily. And had a lot of food until we now, wow, what are we going to do now?
Right.
And then what we started doing is storing food in our laundry room and storing food all over the place. You start buying by cases. That's another thing. A good tip to do is during the holiday season, July 4th, excellent time to go to the grocery store and stock up on barbecue supplies. You're going to see barbecue sauce on sale. You're going to see ribs, hamburger meat, other things like that. Throw some of this stuff in the freezer. It's going to be on sale. I don't know about where other people live, but in Texas, we have what's called HEB. And they always have great sales during the holidays where if you buy a certain meat, they throw in the rest of the dinner for free.
Wow.
And I'm sure there's other stores like that around here that do that. So we would always stock up on these free meals and everything, throw it in the freezer or put it on the pantry or whatever. But this is something that people can realistically do. $5 every time you go to the show.
It could almost be kind of a game for the family.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we can do
Right.
today. Here are some things we need, and get the kids involved in it.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can find, and here are the goals. We need to find things that will last a long time, that we'll actually eat if and when things come to
Right.
it.
And that's the key, though, is buy what you eat. a lot of people are like, oh, here's lentils, and they don't even know how to cook them, you know, and or some of these other weird foods that they hear that they need to buy.
Pottage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. How do you cook that? How do you spell it? I mean, so, but these are things that people can realistically do and start their preps.
Also, people, for those that don't know, we have a ton of this stuff at the skywatchtvstore.com. So if you're not sure where to start, you can also go to the skywatchtvstore.com, log in. You can take advantage of the offers you saw just a moment ago on the promotion. Things like the Aquamira Frontier water filter straw. So if you just stick one of these in the dash of your car or in the glove box, if you ever got stuck somewhere like we just literally, Derek, we did this 3 weeks ago. I got stuck on the other side of a flood and wasn't sure if I was going to make it home.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you got stuck in a position where you didn't have clean water to drink, you literally just take this device, plug it in. You can drink right out of a mud puddle or a creek. It will filter molds, algae, things like that. Ray, you want to pass me that heirloom seed there? We've got, these are non-GMO heirloom seeds. If for whatever reason we hit a period of time where you could no longer get seeds or they were in such great demand that people were fighting over them, we've got...
if things break down to the point that what you've got stored up in the closet eventually is going to run out or expire, you're going to need to perhaps to start growing your own.
That's just a couple of examples. We have all kinds of stuff, water purifiers, long-term storage food. So for those that don't know, the Skywatch TV store is got a huge selection of ways to help you out. So.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned water and everything. Water is critical. Everybody always thinks about food and, oh, how many guns can I have and what other cool guy gear can I have? Water is critical. And if you don't have water for 3 days, you start shutting down. And that's why I saw that you have the Berkey water system here.
Yeah.
Berkey water filters.
Go ahead.
Folks, this is it. This is the king of water filters, and this is what you want. I write about it in my book. This is the best water filter you can get. It will save your family's life. Believe me, I know.
In fact, we've got one here in the studio that we use to just essentially double filter the water that comes out of the tap. We've got a filter on the tap, but then we filter it again through the Berkey for drinking water.
Special filter inside that takes the fluoride out of the city water.
But I've got a Berkey system. We use it like crazy, and we now, in fact, we've actually retired it, and we now have a reverse osmosis system that we're using. But Berkey is a great system, and I highly recommend it. But what you do is go to the hardware store and buy garbage cans, just cheap plastic garbage cans, and fill them up with water, and then dump some bleach in it, and you've got some water there for you. And its good formula is 1 gallon per person per day. Better to have 3 gallons per person per day. So if you got 4 people in your family, get 4 garbage cans. Those are 50-gallon garbage cans. And that will then give you at least 50 gallons to work with, or 1 gallon per person per day, or 3 gallons. But you run everything through the Berkey system so that you clean out all that chlorine and dirt and other stuff that has accumulated while it's been sitting there in your garage. So you don't have to go out and buy these fancy smancy water tanks. It's good to do down the road. But what you need to do is get going now. And this is why I say use $5 to get your food going. Go buy some garbage cans and get that going. And so these are quick, easy tips to at least get going and take baby steps. A lot of times we get overwhelmed thinking, oh, I need to buy all this stuff. No, take baby steps. You'll be amazed how fast you how fast you fill up that closet full of food and get that water stuff going.
Well, and coming back to distractions, with just a couple of minutes left here, how difficult is it to share the gospel with somebody who's starving and frantic about how they're going to feed their children? I mean, how does that help fulfill the Great Commission when we are prepared and we have enough extra that we can begin to share it with other people in need around us?
What you want to do is you want to start sharing now. Just like Joe was saying, you want to start buying now, you want to start sharing now. And getting to know your neighbors, getting to know the people who are going to possibly need help and everything. So if we were neighbors, Derek, let's say, and we lived on a cul-de-sac together, after a while, we get to know each other and everything. But after a while, I'd get to know you and how you are. But I can tell that maybe you aren't prepping or anything, but maybe I'd start talking to you about prepping. Hey, do you guys got a garden? Hey, how about this? Hey, how about that? Prepping is becoming more and more on people's minds with doomsday preppers and all these other shows and apocalyptic films and everything. So it's becoming more and more easy to talk to somebody about being prepared and helping them now.
Now, and circling back to something I started before and didn't complete, when we first met back in 2010 or 2011, I guess, the Branson Conference, the Future Congress, I had an idea of preppers that was kind of shaped by doomsday preppers. And it was through conversations with you and your wife that I changed my attitude. And again, a lot of my attitude, again, shaped by being raised in Chicago, a major city where, well, the government's always going to be there to take care of us, and the grocery store is always going to be open, and the buses will always run, and the police will always be there. Ain't necessarily so. But your approach toward being prepared, and I think this last comment, this last bit of wisdom really reemphasizes that our role as Christians is to share in that way, not just when things hit the fan, but leading up to that.
Well, in leading up to that, we don't know when something's going to happen or anything. We want to start building allies now.
Right.
And so by building allies now, building that trust now, so when bad times do come, I can then walk across the street to the cul-de-sac and say, Derek, this is hard times. I see you guys are really having a hard time here. Listen, I've got extra eggs, beans, this, that, and this. This is a 5-gallon bucket full of stuff that will help you through a week and everything. You're going to be very grateful because we've had that relationship build and everything. And I go, Derek, listen, how are you with the Lord? We're coming up through hard times.
Right.
Do you want me to pray with you right now? I see the stress of the world is on you. However the Lord leads you to open that door. But in hard times, people are more open to being to have them pray with or share the gospel with, or especially if I'm bringing gifts to you and helping you, I'm reaching out to you already. It shows I care. And that's the key. When we don't have the worries of the world on us, then we can share the gospel a lot easier. And it's these distractions and everything that prevent it. But now if we're prepared, we can. Yeah,
the Great Commission, sharing the love of Christ is always powerful, but how much more powerful is it when we're doing it when it's actually sacrificial giving, and people know that and see that. Ray Gano is our guest. He's the author of the book Survive the Coming Storm. His website, raygano.com. National Preparedness Month. Don't wait until the headlines tell you it's time. Do it before. Ray, we'll talk again. Cool. And we thank you for watching as we keep watch. With Joe Horn, I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is Skywatch TV.